Today we are going to start our lesson with production possibility curve or opportunity cost curve. Basically, this is a very important tool in the study of economics, which tells us how basic economic problem can be represented by showing this production possibility curve. Okay? Because resources are limited and they have alternate uses, a country can maximum produce along this production possibility curve. So what do you think, how much a country can produce by using all of its available resources? How can we define how much of the goods and services a country can produce by using the resources? It depends upon two things. What are those two things? The quantity of resources which are available to a country and the quality of resources. Quantity means how much labor, how much land area, how much capital is available with the country. In number term, how many workers are present in the working age of the country? Those who are willing and able to work. Rather they are skilled or unskilled, educated or uneducated, that's another thing. This is quantity of resources is telling us the number of resources which are available with the country. And quality, how much is their productivity? Productivity of resources matters. If a country is blessed with more productive resources, like their land is also very much productive, their capital equipments, they are also having high productivity level, and their labor is also educated, skilled and trained one, and they are able to operate new and new technology. So in that way we say the productivity or quality of resources available to a country, that's also very excellent. So in that way a country can produce more of the goods and services. Clear? So PPC, basically what PPC is telling us, PPC shows the maximum output of two goods produced by a country by employing all of available resources in a given time period. How much a country can produce? Like in 1 year, in 1 period of time, how much of the two goods a country can produce? Or we say it shows the possibilities of production of the two goods when all the resources of the country, they have been fully employed in a given time. There are different possibilities of production. So we take for simplicity two types of goods in our study of PPC. One is called consumer goods. How can we define the consumer goods?
Which directly satisfy the consumer.
Okay, we were talking about two types of goods. One is called free goods, another is called economic goods. Free goods are those which are not requiring resources to produce them. For example, sunlight, rainfall, or air, or seawater. So all these are the free goods because none of the resources required to produce them. Whereas economic goods are those which require the resources to produce them. So we have a long list of the economic goods. One of them is called consumer goods. And within consumer goods we have durable goods, non-durable, perishable, non-perishable. Clear? And merit goods and demerit goods. Consumers are having different types of goods to satisfy their needs capital goods. So how can we define the capital goods? They are not demanded for their own sake, but they are demanded for the sake of further production. For example, building of a factory, machinery used by a factory in order to produce more goods and services, they are called the capital goods. Now, I have taken the two examples of the two goods. One is consumer goods and another is capital goods. So, economy is going to employ the resources in the production of these two types of goods. Here, I am going to see what are the different possibilities of production of these consumer goods and capital goods. Alright. So there are different possibilities. Please give attention now. If all the resources are employed in the production of only consumer goods, this country is able to produce 20,000 of consumer goods. Clear? And none of resource is employed in the production of capital goods. Only this is one extreme, that this country is employing the resources in the production of only the consumer goods, so it has opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? All the capital goods are sacrificed for the sake of only the consumer goods. Now, some of the resources they are released from the production of consumer goods and now they are employed in the production of capital goods. So if less resources are allocated here, a country is able to produce 16,000 of consumer goods, along with that 2,000 of capital goods are produced. Clear? So when it frees the resources from production of consumer goods, so it has given up 4,000 consumer goods to have only 2,000 of capital goods. So what is the opportunity cost of these 2,000 capital goods? The 4,000 consumer goods which are given up. So that is the opportunity cost, that is what 4,000 over here to have 2,000 capital goods. For one capital good, it means a country has to give up 2 of the consumer goods. This is the opportunity cost of capital goods. For a single additional capital good, how many units of consumer goods will be given up? They are the two in number. Now, the third option for the country is, if it further decreases the production of consumer goods, it is able to produce more of capital goods. So every time this country is sacrificing 4,000 of consumer goods to get extra 2,000 of capital goods. So the fourth option is here 8,000 and here we have 6,000 and now it has 4,000 and here we have 8,000 and the last option is 0 and 10,000. So when country is only producing capital goods, its opportunity cost is all the consumer goods which are given up. These are the two extreme choices. One is the A choice where all consumer goods are produced and here only the capital goods are produced. In between we are having different possibilities of production of consumer and capital goods. This is what the definition is telling us. The maximum output or different possibilities of production of the two goods which are produced by a country by employing all of its resources in a present time. Now I am going to plot them in a diagram. Look here. This is what we are taking two axes of our diagram. This is x-axis where we are taking capital goods and here we are taking consumer goods. So this is one point where 20,000 of So we say all the possible combinations they are present along this line. This is showing us a PPC along which there are different combinations of consumer and capital goods which a country can produce by applying all its factors of production within given state of technology in a given year. So these are the points. Okay, all these points are possible and they are attainable when all resources are fully employed. Now see what happens if we move from point A to B. What we are doing, we are able to produce 2,000 of capital goods along with 16,000 of consumer goods. So in order to have these of consumer goods, this is the opportunity cost. Why this opportunity cost is arising? Because resources are limited, they are scarce, and what they are having? They are having alternate uses. Either they could be employed in the production of consumer goods or in the production of capital goods. So when they are transferred, when they are reallocated, so what happens? It gives us opportunity cost in terms of the output given up for the sake of extra capital goods. So that's why we say this PPC is also showing us, or it is also called opportunity cost. This is the maximum output. This is the boundary of the country. It cannot go beyond this boundary or this curve by employing all its resources. Clear or not? Now, all the points along this PPC, they are attainable with full employment of resources. So any point which is lying above PPC, this is point Z, is it attainable? Not at all, because resources are unavailable to produce at this point. Follow? So this is unattainable point. Any point below PPC shows us it is attainable, but there is unemployment of resources. There is unemployment, but along PPC we have full employment, and it involves what? Opportunity cost. Clear? Now one more thing I want to ask you. What is the slope of this PPC? Is it constant or increasing or decreasing? It is constant slope. Slope means what? Change in consumer goods due to change in capital goods. Rise or run. Gradient you might have studied in your mathematics. So what does it tell? In order to get an extra unit of capital goods, how many units of consumer goods will be given up? So we see over here, its slope is every time change in consumer goods. K I am taking for capital goods because both are starting with letter C. In order to differentiate between these two goods, I am using K for capital goods and C for consumer goods. So we see over here, it is negatively sloped. Negative slope means what? If we increase capital goods, we have to decrease consumer goods. They move in opposite direction. If negative. Now you can write over here, this is the rising part, 20,000 divided by 10,000. What is the answer? -2. -2 means what? That every time to increase extra capital good, 2 units of consumer goods will be given. This is constant slope. Every time we were giving up 4,000 of consumer goods to get 2,000 of capital goods. Clear? Or other way around, we can also move from this side to here. So then what happens? Changing capital will be in the numerator and changing consumer goods will be in the denominator. So it will be inverse of slope. 1/2. That half of capital goods should be given up to get extra consumer goods. So this is constant opportunity cost curve or PPC, which has constant opportunity cost. It is downward sloping, but every time we have the same opportunity cost. But normally we have increasing opportunity cost. Now I am going to draw that normal or increasing opportunity cost curve. Now I am using again the two goods, consumer goods and capital goods. Now see, I will be using different values to make it clear that this is increasing opportunity cost now. How? If all resources are employed over here, 700 of consumer goods are produced, whereas none of capital good is there. Clear? So in the second option, it produces 660 consumer goods when it increases the production of capital goods by 100 units. So in order to produce 100 units of capital goods, how many consumer goods are given up? 40. So now the opportunity cost is 40 for the first 100 units produced. Now it is going to have 600 if it produces another extra 100 units. Now what is the opportunity cost for extra 100 capital goods?
60.
That is now 60. But do you think opportunity cost has increased now? It is no more constant. Now for the option B, it is 500 and here we are having 300. What is opportunity cost now? So opportunity cost is increasing. We are giving up more to get the same quantity of capital goods. So if we move towards here, it is now 300 in order to have 400. Now we have given up 200 of consumer goods for extra. The opportunity cost does not remain same in this case. So here we have 0 and here we are having 500. So how much is opportunity cost? So in every option, the opportunity cost of capital goods in terms of consumer goods is going to increase. Clear? Now I am going to draw the shape of increasing opportunity cost curve, which is a normal PPC curve. Normally, we have this type of PPC. This is called capital goods. Here we have consumer goods. Here it is the point 700 and here we have another point that is 500 of capital goods. Now it is bold outward. It is concave to the origin. Now see, do you think its gradient is constant throughout? Not at all. It is flatter at the start that we get first 100 by giving up only 40 units. And then we get the extra 100 by giving up 60. As we are moving along this curve, this vertical distance is going to increase. So this is increasing opportunity cost. It shows that these are the possible combinations of production of consumer and capital goods when all resources are fully employed by the economy in a given state of technology in a given time period. Clear? Again we have any point above PPC which is unattainable, any point below PPC is attainable with unemployment of resources, but there is full employment of resources along the PPC, and along PPC we find the presence of opportunity cost because of scarcity of resources. Now why its opportunity cost is increasing as we move from left to right? What is the reason behind it? The reason is the resources which were good in the production, they were having more productivity in the production of consumer goods. When they are transformed to produce the capital goods, their additional output is decreasing, or productivity of actual production does not remain same in the production of both types of goods. For example, I have been teaching economics for the last many years. If I am asked to teach any other subject other than economics, even though it is quite similar to economics, do you think I will be having same productivity in that subject as well. Or the other teacher is asked to teach economics instead of accounts. So what happens? We are, although we are in the same profession, but our productivity will, the output which we are able to produce here, that is higher than the output we will produce in the other subject in other class. So the transformation of resources, will become difficult. That's why our opportunity cost is increasing, or the additional output which we are able to produce in another word by decreasing the production of the first one, that additional output of the factor of production will be eventually diminishing. That's why we have increasing opportunity cost. Clear or not? So this is normal PPC. Another PPC. This is called increasing the opportunity cost. This is increasing the opportunity cost curve, or PPC. Now there can be decreasing opportunity cost. Here I am taking K. This is consumer. So it will be convex to the origin. What it is? It is convex. Its slope is decreasing. You see over here. First we were sacrificing more to get capital goods, but as we move here, we get more and sacrifice less. So its opportunity cost is decreasing. So I have drawn it as well, because sometimes they give 4 diagrams in MCQ question, multiple choice question. So they are going to ask you which one is increasing opportunity cost, which is constant opportunity cost, and which one is decreasing opportunity cost. So you must be able to understand this is decreasing, this is increasing, and the first one I have drawn, that is constant opportunity cost. We will do the shifts of PPC tomorrow and its application. This is the main concept we have. And one more thing, when economy is fully utilizing its resources, so it is achieving what? Economic efficiency along PPC. When economy is operating below PPC, there is economic inefficiency. Resources are not fully utilized. They are being wasted. Efficiency means absence of wastage or minimum of wastage. So when economy is operating below PPC, there is wastage of resources. Economy is not able to fully utilize its potential. So it shows economic inefficiency, but any point along PPC will show us economic efficiency point. Take a productive efficiency point. That means resources are fully allocated in the direction that whatever the available choices are there. Clear? That's all. I think it's enough for today. And tomorrow we will do the shift of PPC.